okay, let's do this, let's do this. Give these hungry fans something to talk about. What's up, people? Another beautiful day. Yep. Hope your five senses work. Hope your health and strength is good. Now, you know the European Union. The European Union right now is holding the Activision Blizzard deal hostage. They're putting pressure on investors to back out the deal. That's what they're doing. The European Union. Listen to this. Because look, remember, 98% of the investors all agreed on this deal. Okay? And then, remember when Activision Blizzard was having their little turmoil, Sony had a little partnership with them where they would get exclusive content to Call of Duty, but Sony never had control over Activision Blizzard. That's something totally different. So when Activision Blizzard was going through their problems, Sony was sitting on the sideline thinking that everything was good and that they got the Call of Duty content exclusivity, right? But Sony never had control. So what Microsoft did when Activision Blizzard was going through their problems, they saw an opportunity to get Activision Blizzard, while Sony on the sideline when Sony on the sideline sitting watching Activision Blizzard, right? They're on the side watching them going through their turmoil, right? Sony offered no assistance. So Microsoft now, they saw an opportunity for Activision Blizzard, and that's when they swooped in and got them. And once Microsoft dropped that $70 billion on Activision Blizzard, then reality started to kick in. So what Sony did now, when they realized what was about to take place, they run to Europe, right, for help. So now the European Union now is playing favoritism with this deal instead of letting the deal go through. So what Europe is doing now is putting pressure, is holding the deal hostage. That's number one, and then putting pressure on the investors to back out the deal. That's what's going on here. Listen to this. It says here, Activision Blizzard merger with Microsoft could fall apart, according to insiders. It says here, it seems like the tides might be turning for Microsoft in its recent acquisition of Activision Blizzard, now that it's been put under more intense scrutiny. See what I mean? It says here, by several regulator agencies and our antitrust authorities in the UK, US, and European Union. Some insiders may have begun to worry about the fact that this deal could very well blow up and not happen to begin with. Now Microsoft been painting a very rough picture of itself and Xbox while trying to make sense to create regarding the acquisition of the Call of Duty company. The company has revealed that cloud gaming isn't the way of the future, that Xbox consoles are still sold at a loss, and other trivial that makes them look like the underdog against its competitors and most vocal opposition, Sony and PlayStation. And then it says, according to the insider that talked with the New York Post, Microsoft certainly didn't expect this level of scrutiny from market authorities. In fact, increasing pressure has left both it and Activision Blizzard at odds behind the scenes, despite both companies insistent that the deal will go through. And we got here, it says here, the brass tacks at this point are regarding the exclusivity of Call of Duty franchise. While Microsoft has stated before that this game series will not be kept from PlayStation, they also wouldn't be legally obligated to keep the franchise not exclusive. And that is where the deal breaker begins to set in for regulators. Of course, this is clear speculation since we don't know exactly what will happen and should the deal go through. And then, see here, let me get the rest of this here. It says here, So what now? Well, we still have yet to see what's going to happen come November 8th, when we get to hear more about whether the European Commission will permit the deal to go into its next phase. A Microsoft spokesperson told the Post in a statement that they have worked on taking the necessary step to make the deal go forward. It's also worth reminding our readers that there is a fee that Microsoft will have to pay should the deal fall through in the coming days. If the European Commission, the UK Competition and Market Authorities, or American Federal Trade Commission squash the deal, Microsoft will have to pay Activision Blizzard $3 billion as per the commission of the deal. And let's see, anything else? And that's it. Look, when Activision Blizzard was going through their problems, Sony was sitting on the side watching this. They weren't making a move to swoop in and take over Activision Blizzard. They just sit there thinking that they got the exclusivity content to Call of Duty. But just because you got the exclusivity content, that don't mean you have full control over Activision Blizzard. And this is where Microsoft come in. So while they're sitting there watching Activision Blizzard go through while Sony's sitting there watching Activision Blizzard going through their problems, Microsoft swoop in. Microsoft was looking for opportunity. Okay, Microsoft was like an eagle in the air. Look, the surveying the landscape, because that's what eagles do. They survey the landscape, and then they just swoop in and drop 70 billion. So like what Phil Spencer said, it's not what they can do for us, it's how can we help you. So when Activision Blizzard was going through their problems, Sony didn't say, how can we help you? They just stood there. So that's their fault. So right now, so Sony ran to the European Union for help, right? And now the European Union right now is holding the deal hostage, and then they're putting pressure on investors to back out. It's kind of like let's say you committed a crime, right? Let's say you never committed a crime, right? And you get arrested for a crime you didn't do. You got a clean record, right? And you got arrested for a crime you never did. So they put you in jail for a couple of months and took some time away from you, right? But then after a while they let you out. So now the government know that their officers screwed up. The government know that their officers screwed up. So now the government now is going to put pressure on you now to see if you can withstand it before they award you anything for all your free time in jail. Okay, it's kind of the same thing. So that's what the European Commission is doing. They're putting pressure on these investors that all agreed to the deal. 98% of them. Only 2% didn't agree. 98%. So they're putting pressure on all the investors to try to so-called back out the deal. But now it comes down to like, okay, can you withstand pressure? You know, can you, like, do you have patience? Do you have time? Can you wait? Can you wait the deal out? Can you stall the deal out? Can you wait the deal? Can you absorb all the opposition, all the blows that you're about to face about this deal, even though it's going through? I'm gonna put pressure on you to see if you can withstand it, and then force you to back out. Same thing, you know what I'm saying? So you know what I'm saying? That's what they're doing to the investors, you know. So some of the investors now are being tested. The investors are being tested physically, mentally, emotionally, recreationally, And of course, probably spiritually, can they endure this? Can the investors endure this this trial that they're facing? And that's what this deal comes down to. You know what I'm saying? That's what it comes down to. So the Activision Blizzard deal right now is a endurance game right now between Activision Blizzard and Microsoft versus the European Union. That's what this whole entire deal comes down to. Because 70 billion, you know, that's a nice sum of money to be spending on some studios. When you spend that much money on a studio, that lets you know how valuable that studio is. You know, so every studio right now is doing self-evaluation of themselves, man. Like, okay, how much are we worth based on all the games that we put out? How much are we really worth, man? When Microsoft dropped that 70 billion and reality sinks in. Reality sinks when reality sinks in, man. Sony knew they were in trouble because they didn't offer any. Sony nor Nintendo did not offer any help, and that's what this comes down to, man. You know, the Activision Blizzard deal is an endurance game between Microsoft and the investors versus the European Union. This is an endurance game right now, you know, and pressure, what they say, pressure bust pipes. Yeah, that's what's happening right now. So there you have it. Anyway, I'm gonna leave this video for y'all to enjoy. Nice talking to you people again. Chris, still a Star Wars and Star Trek fan. Board, dark side.